I can't wait to leave this house, but I'm gonna wait till it's safe. Meanwhile, I'll get TikTok famous, watch Netflix, then sleep late. But for those who don't have that option, New Yorkers near and far, I'd like to take this moment and shout out who you are. You're my nurse, my doctor, my mail guy, my package delivery friends. You're the food service worker who's taken orders from the day's beginning to end. Whether born and raised or immigrated, it's a picture perfect blend. No storm or virus can ever divide us. We're New York united as one.
What connects me to the immigrant community is just my family.
Undoubtedly, my favorite immigrant in this whole world is going to be my mother.
So as a daughter of immigrant parents, my story has been really about getting to know my parents and discovering my ethnic and cultural heritage.
I come from immigrants. I come from people who moved here for a better opportunity.
There was nothing more important for me to do with my future than to make sure that people like my mother sort of had access to the options that she didn't have.
And really to fight for folks like my parents when they first got here and didn't have very many services or supports.
I was born in the Bronx and raised in Queens, but my parents are both from Ecuador. So I am a product of immigrants, and I never forget that.
I grew up undocumented for about 13 years when I moved here from Colombia. I grew up as a dreamer, like many of the people that I represent today.
My connection to New York with immigrants is my connection to New York with 8.5 million other New Yorkers. It's what makes New York great.
When I stand by immigrants in this moment, I am standing by my parents.
Not only do I stand with immigrants, but I stand with marginalized communities, especially communities of color and low-wage workers. I think we all should.
It's kind of cliche to say, but I don't think this country would be what it is without immigrants.
It's been immigrants who built this country. I myself am an immigrant. It is the soul of our nation.
I grew up in the city, and the only New York I know is a New York that is built on the tenacity and resilience of immigrant New Yorkers.
And if we want a city that's going to be a good, thriving city, we have to think about our immigrants and act upon the needs that they have and the promise that they have to bring us into this next future and this next chapter of the city of New York.
The reason why I find it so important to stand with immigrants today is because I have a platform. It's my duty to put immigrant issues, immigrant rights at the forefront of the work that I'm doing.
It's inhumane to call people illegal.
And we need to rescue who we are as a nation and always, always, always need to honor the immigrant story of the United States.
I stand with immigrants in this moment, and I frankly stand with them in any moment.
I stand with immigrants in this moment, and I think everyone should be standing with immigrants in this moment.
New York Immigration Coalition is very, very important to me because as a coalition, we're the voice of the voiceless.
When there are organizations like the New York Immigration Coalition that work to both amplify those voices and protect those voices, that's important to me, and it should be important to so many New Yorkers because immigrants are the lifeblood of not just this city, but this nation.
New York Immigration Coalition does not take anything except for justice.
I think that there's a true sense of solidarity between the staff members that I didn't even think was sort of possible in a workplace.
I'm so proud to work for an organization that does this for the immigrant community day in and day out.
I was very happy to be able to contribute with an artwork to the fundraising efforts that the New York Immigrant Coalition is doing.
Coalition work is very, very important. It's very hard to do, but I think it's crucial to the empowerment of our communities in New York State.
The NYIC is so important to me is because they have created a platform and also a voice for a community that doesn't feel like they have a voice, that they don't feel like they have representation.
The NYIC really offers space for immigrant issues to be heard in government and to build long-lasting power to have a say in what makes New York, New York.
For me, the New York Immigration Coalition is often the force behind a lot of the work that I get to do. It has been the honor of a lifetime, not only to support your work, but to learn from you, to fight for you. And I'm going to continue to do it as long as you will have me.
And we're going to continue to fight, and we're going to continue to win, because the strength of our community is what powers us through. We have to do all that we can to ensure that not just here in New York City or New York State, but across the nation, that this government, that law enforcement, and that everyone in between sees that and values Black lives, because Black lives matter.
United by the common thread that believes in the inherent dignity and worth of every person, whether they've lived in this country their entire life, or whether they've crossed a desert seeking safety in our arms. I am proud to be a member of an organization that says loudly and consistently every day, no justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Bye.
Good luck and great work. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thanks.
Peace.